I haven't made a video in a while, and it's because of a lot of different circumstances. I'm actually uh, making this video off of not my main computer, but a backup one. It's not nearly as high performance, but I got it really cheap. I actually got it from shopgoodwill.com, and it's an eMachines T3508, and I got it for like only, the actual computer was only like $25. The tower was $25, and I think the shipping was like 15. It was from a Goodwill in Madison, Wisconsin, which is, well, it's like not too far from me. But it does almost everything that a newer computer will do. All your basic web surfing and things like that. But this is, in a way, it's kind of an experiment making this video. I just haven't got my main computer. I think the power supply went on it, and I'm not really in a rush to get it fixed. In fact, I used it as an opportunity to update and configure this one, because I had an original copy of XP, the original discs or whatever, so I install it and update it and everything. So that's what I've been doing most of my basic work on the computer with this machine. I mean, I'll get the other one fixed, but I got my webcam, my HD webcam. I had the down kind of grade the pickup to just a regular small definition 360p here. So enough of the technical stuff. I just want to do a little updates. I haven't made a video in a while. Like I said, the funny thing was, when I made a video called State of the Channel Address, and I think everybody who subscribed to me watched it, and I actually deleted it a while back. But I actually made an election prediction, and this was, I think it was the day before the presidential election, and I still had the envelope. See, sealed envelope. I'm going to open up the envelope and see if I was right. I feel like Karnak. I don't have the big funny hat though, but anyway. I remember Johnny Carson. Okay. She had a drum roll sound effect too. Okay, here was what I predicted. And as you can see, I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. And the reason why I was wrong is I thought that there would be more people like me, more people like us, people who are resourceful and self-reliant and don't want the government telling us, how to live our lives, or think that, other people know what's better for us than we do, who allow us to be led around with a hook in our nose or something like that. So, but I guess, it doesn't matter, I still have pretty much, I think, control over my destiny. Lately it hasn't really gone as well as I hoped it had. My job has not really gone as well as I thought. In fact, from the day they hired me, it's like nothing has seemed to be going as well as it was supposed to have gone. Kind of still looking for another job, but I'm not in a rush as long as I can hold this one. But I do have some. I implied in that video, that State of the Channel Address video, that I thought I wouldn't be making any new vinyl finds videos. Well, because I thought that the supply sort of had dried up of thrift store records, in my area. But wouldn't you know it, as soon as I said that, I came across a whole bunch more records in the last, few months. I just got a small little sample of some of what future videos I will make that I can show you right now. I think these are kind of unusual stuff that you wouldn't really find. It's not the usual thrift store stuff. I also found one of those kind of grail finds. It's over there. It's in another rack. I'll save that one for last. But anyway, some of these I've got at this, and there's an antique shop in my area, and there's one main vendor who has a big area. It's called Vinyl Mania. But there's also other booths or other areas where other people have like small collections of records or whatever, and they're all pretty reasonably priced. And a lot of them I found are in surprisingly good condition. But first one I want to show you, this is actually a double album reissue of two early Chuck Berry albums. Now the original albums are collector's items, and they're worth fair amount of money. This one's I think this is a reissue. This is actually two early albums combined into a repackaged 2-album set, but they are Chuck Berry on Stage and Chuck Berry Rockin' at the Hops. Now, if you know anything about Chuck Berry Rockin' at the Hops, I just finished reading Keith Richards' book Life. You read that one? And he's related this many times through the years that he and Mick Jagger, they were kind of like friends or neighbors, sort of acquaintances, but then they lost touch with each other. But when he came across Mick Jagger getting on a train or something, and he had this album and some other albums on his arm, and this is what really turned Keith Richards on to getting with Mick Jagger. And of course, we know where it went from there. They started playing together and meeting other people and hanging out and meeting other people, and where they started basically the Rolling Stones out of that. So that's kind of a interesting artifact. And this is on Chess. You can see that. Here's the Chess label there. So that's a very cool find. I haven't played it yet, but it appears to be in excellent condition. So next record I can show you. Almost never come across Jimi Hendrix albums. The cover of this is not in the greatest of shape, but the disc is in really good playable condition. And it's Axis Bold as Love. I almost never come across Hendrix albums at thrift stores. I've played it, and it sounds pretty good. Now this is a cool find too. This is I had this in fact in a past video I was playing a collection of instrumental hits or whatever, and this was one of them. But this is the original record where this song is on. It's Vince Guaraldi, and it was Cast Your Fate to the Wind. Well, this is the actual album, Jazz Impressions of Black Orpheus. And see, it's the Vince Guaraldi trio. Yeah, I think I got this for like $1. I found this at Goodwill, so that was a very cool find. And it sounds pretty good. It's on Fantasy Records there. Now this is kind of unusual. I don't know if this is like a bootleg or if this is just like a Mexican pressing or something, but it's the Beatles, Yesterday and Today. But if you look closely at it, it says capital, but it's in like Spanish. It says capital S stereo. S stereo, not stereo. It's just basically Spanish, and it's got other some other Spanish notes on there. You can see at the bottom, whatever that is. El Disco es Cultura, something like that. And I played this record and it sounds good, but somehow it doesn't sound quite as good as I think it's supposed to sound. It almost sounds, I don't, like I said, I don't know if it's some kind of bootleg or if it's just a, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to sound as clear as it should. At least the songs I know. I don't have the American Capo version. I have the not the Yesterday and Today, but I have a lot of these tracks are actually on the Revolve. Some of these are on the Revolver album, and they're on I think Rubber Soul. I'm not sure, but this was one of those where Capitol, how they took tracks off of the British albums and then basically made this as kind of an extra record. They kind of like ripped off the American public by making this record because it had less. It was actually like tracks from other albums that they had left off, and then they put them on this, made this record out of that. So you probably know that. This is another unusual Beatles record I found. This is and I found this at the this antique shop. This is actually a French pressing of Yellow Submarine. If you look closely, see what it says, Apple. It's Apple, but then it says some French writing here. See at the bottom there? L'Industrie Musicale et Electroniques Pathé Marconi, Paris. And I'll show you the disc. I don't know if that's, I don't know much French. Here's the disc. Maybe you can kind of see there's some writing along the top there. But it's says made in France by Pathé Marconi and some other stuff here. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The only problem is the disc looked in good shape, but when I played it through a couple times, and it sounds like it must have been played on a player with a really worn stylus or something, because it has a lot of surface noise on it. Like the grooves had been damaged or something. So it's kind of like, well, I think I only paid $6 or $7 for this at this antique shop, but it is kind of collectible, I guess, so I don't feel too bad. This is kind of a weird coincidence. I came across this. This is the soundtrack to Midnight Cowboy. And of course, it's got the famous track "Everybody's Talking" by Nilsson. It's got other interesting music. But the day I found this, this movie was actually on TV, on broadcast TV. In the U.S. we have this. There's a free channel, broadcast channel called This, and they play. It's called This channel or whatever, where they play movies like that. It was, of course, because of the content of that movie is kind of a adult content. They played it kind of late at night, but I did watch. I've never seen the whole movie. I've seen parts of the movie, but I've never seen the whole thing. It's a pretty interesting movie, though. This is a disc that I had when it first came out, and I regretted getting rid of it a few years later, but now I'm so happy to get back. And I came across the other records by this group, later ones, but this is the one that I really liked the best. This was first album by Blackfoot. Blackfoot Strikes. It's great, kind of like southern rock there. So very cool record. This is a replacement copy of another record that I recently got, but it wasn't nearly in as good a shape as this. The disc and the cover, but I found a good copy of the first Beach Boys record here. And this is it's not a first pressing, but it's a pretty good sounding disc there. It's got a latter period label, so you know it's a latter pressing. So I was happy to get that. I think I got this at the antique shop. I think I only paid $4 or $5 for it, so that was cool. Here's something kind of cool. I think I found this at Goodwill. Dave Clark 5 albums, if you probably noticed, they've been out of print forever. They've never really been reissued. But this is an original Dave Clark 5. Dave Clark 5 Return. So that was a pretty cool find. I'm not really a huge Dave Clark 5 fan, but these are, like I said, these are pretty hard to find. You know, I mean, they might have had, like, you only come across like the greatest hits or something, but this is an original one with other content. This is one that I've been looking for a long time. I have almost everything else by her, but this is kind of like her. This is kind of like one of those great '60s kind of albums. It was Nancy Sinatra, Boots. I mean, I already have the song on a hit, greatest hits or something, but I mean, it's just a great cover there. One of those iconic kind of covers there. Thought that was cool. Now this is pretty cool. I actually found a couple Pink. I found some Pink Floyd. I mean, of course, Pink Floyd, you know, they've sold tens of millions of records, but it's very difficult to find good clean copies at thrift stores, if you ever do. But I found a copy of Wish You Were Here, and I think it's got some extras in it. I'm not sure. I guess not. I mean, here's the disc. Obviously, the disc has got some design. I never had this. I wasn't really a big Pink Floyd fan. I mean, they were all over the radio. They still are. In the mid to late 70s. But this was kind of a cool find. I found this with everything in it, all the extras, and this was Dark Side of the Moon, obviously. And I found this for only $1 at Goodwill. It's got the sticker on it, you know, as if no one knew what this was. I mean, everybody did know, but what was so cool about, and this is on Harvest too. But the cool thing about this is it's got all the stuff. Of course, here's the disc, right? But it's also got all the extras. Because I originally bought this record, I think in the late 70s, so I know what originally came with the record. But with my $1 Goodwill find here, it came with it's got the 2 stickers here. It's got this poster. I can show you everything. It's got this poster, and it's got this other poster. I can see this. I'm not going to completely undo it all, but so it's got everything that you know came with the record. None of this stuff got taken out or lost. So that's actually a pretty cool deal there. And the disc is in great shape too. Now here's the Grail, one that I was been looking for quite a long time. I have all of Neil Young's early records up until the late 1980s, I think, up until like Trans or something. But this is the one that I never found, or I never bought new. I mean, I bought most of them new when it came out back in the 70s or whatever. But this one I never got around to getting, and I never I don't think I've ever found it at Goodwill or any thrift store. I mean, I always come across we always come across Harvest, right? or maybe like after the gold rush, or maybe some of the latter period ones. But this is the one that I was out really looking for, and that was Tonight's the Night. Cover is not in such great shape. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's got water damage or whatever, but inside's a little better condition. What I found kind of unusual, here's the inner sleeve. I had to tape it up with some Scotch tape there. But what I don't know if they were all like this, but my copy here has a black label. I mean, it's the Reprise label, but it's black. It's not the brown, all brown, or the brown and red top or nothing. It's all black. So if anybody can tell me if you have a copy of Tonight's the Night, and does yours is it also black? Is yours also black or not? I just out of curiosity, I'd like to know. But I was really happy to get this. Oh, and another thing, this disc is in, I'd say, very good plus condition. Although on one side, on the second side, it has a big scratch. I don't know if you can see it. See it right there? But it's a real superficial scratch. When I've played it, I can barely hear, any sound of that scratch. It's just a very shallow kind of abrasion kind of thing. It's not like a real deep thing that you can hear as you're playing it. So that was kind of a nice thing, I guess. It's better than not having it at all. So with that, I got a lot more stuff I have to, I've been so busy doing other things I haven't had time to make videos. I still like to watch other people's videos. I don't really comment much on other people's videos unless they have a question or something. But I'm happy to get comments. I always read your comments. I've been picking up subscribers too steadily. Every week I get, sometimes every day I'll get like 2 or 3 new subscribers. Some of my vinyl videos have gotten thousands of views. I think the first one that I had, the title Thrift Store Vinyl Finds, that seemed to be a good sentence or whatever for people to find on Google or whatever, because that video is up to like over 25,000 views, which is kind of nice. So a lot of people have probably come into the vinyl community through watching that video. So they discovered, that there are other people who love to collect records and want to learn about music and different kinds of music. I mean, I collect all kinds of music almost, so I thought it was kind of cool. So, like I said, until then, I'm going to try to get the other computer going back again so I can make a little better quality video here again. So, but I've been pretty darn busy, but I thought I'd make this little installment to let you know that I'm still here. So with that, I'll let you go, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon, I hope. Bye.